We all experience that nagging voice in our heads, the one that questions our abilities, criticizes our choices, and undermines our self-worth. This persistent inner critic can be quite discouraging, eroding our confidence and motivation. It often feels like having a personal saboteur ready to dampen our spirits. But what if we could quiet this inner critic and replace it with a kinder, more supportive voice? This is where self-compassion comes into play. By learning to treat ourselves with understanding and kindness, we can disarm that inner critic and foster a stronger, more resilient sense of self. In this blog post, we'll explore practical strategies to help you tame your inner critic and cultivate self-compassion. Together, we will learn how to recognize the patterns of this critic, challenge its negative messages, and develop a more compassionate inner voice. Let's embark on this journey together to unlock your full potential, nurturing both your mind and spirit along the way. Understanding your inner critic. Before we can effectively tame our inner critic, it's essential to become more acquainted with it. Where does this persistent voice originate, and what does it express? Understanding the inner critic's origins. Our inner critic often arises from our past experiences. It may have developed as a protective mechanism against criticism or rejection. Perhaps you grew up in an environment where comparisons to others were the norm, or where mistakes were met with harsh consequence. These formative experiences can shape the negative self-talk that manifests as your inner critic. The voices within. Your inner critic can take on various forms. At times, it may sound like a harsh, judgmental voice that chastises you for your perceived failures. Other moments might reveal a voice of doubt, questioning your abilities and worthiness. It can even adopt a perfectionist stance, demanding flawlessness in all your endeavors. Recognizing these distinct voices is the first step toward understanding the tactics of your critic. Recognizing triggers. Specific situations or events can trigger your inner critic into action. It could be a demanding task, a fear of failure, or a social encounter. By identifying these triggers, you can gain greater awareness of when your critic is likely to emerge. Understanding what sets it off empowers you to develop strategies for managing its impact. Let's dive deeper into how we can identify the patterns and triggers of our inner critic together. Remember, this journey is about self-discovery and self-compassion. Cultivating self-compassion. While our inner critic can often feel like an uninvited guest, it's important to remember that it doesn't define who we are. Cultivating self-compassion serves as a powerful antidote to this negativity. Cultivating self-compassion. While our inner critic can often feel like an uninvited guest, it's important to remember that it doesn't define who we are. Cultivating self-compassion serves as a powerful antidote to this negativity. Cultivating self-compassion. While our inner critic can often feel like an uninvited guest, it's important to remember that it doesn't define who we are. Cultivating self-compassion serves as a powerful antidote to this negativity. Cultivating self-compassion. While our inner critic can often feel like an uninvited guest, it's important to remember that it doesn't define who we are. Cultivating self-compassion serves as a powerful antidote to this negativity. Cultivating self-compassion. While our inner critic can often feel like an uninvited guest, it's important to remember that it doesn't define who we are. Cultivating self-compassion serves as a powerful antidote to this negativity. What is self-compassion? Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and acceptance that we would offer a good friend. It's about acknowledging our imperfections and struggles without judgment and extending support and encouragement to ourselves in times of need. Beyond the myth of self-criticism, many of us have been led to believe that self-criticism is essential for success. However, research consistently indicates that self-compassion is far more effective in helping us achieve our goals. When we practice kindness towards ourselves, we cultivate resilience, motivation, and a greater openness to learning from our mistakes. Nourishing yourself with kindness. To nurture self-compassion, we can adopt specific practices. Mindfulness is a powerful tool that fosters self-awareness and allows us to understand our thoughts and emotions without judgment. By remaining present in each moment, we can observe our inner critic without becoming ensnared by its negativity. Self-care is another crucial element of self-compassion. Engaging in activities that nurture both body and mind, such as exercising, spending time in nature, or pursuing hobbies, can significantly reduce stress and enhance overall well-being. Let's explore practical ways to weave self-compassion into our daily lives, fostering a healthier relationship with ourselves. Together, we can create a compassionate community that prioritizes mental health and well-being. Strategies for taming the inner critic. Now that we've gained insight into our inner critic and recognized the importance of self-compassion, let's explore some practical strategies to manage that persistent voice. Awareness and observation. The journey to taming your inner critic begins with awareness. It's essential to pay attention to your thoughts and notice when that critical voice starts to emerge. Keeping a journal can be a valuable tool for tracking your self-talk patterns. By regularly noting your thoughts and feelings, we can begin to identify recurring themes and triggers that activate that inner critic. Mindfulness practices can further enhance our awareness, allowing us to observe our thoughts without judgment and gain a healthier perspective. Challenging negative thoughts. Once we pinpoint the messages from our inner critic, it's time to challenge them. Often the critic's voice stems from distorted thinking patterns. By questioning these negative thoughts, we can replace them with more realistic and positive perspectives. For instance, if your critic insists you'll never succeed, challenge that thought by seeking evidence that contradicts this claim. Developing a compassionate voice. Cultivating a compassionate inner voice is key to overcoming the critic. Positive affirmations can help rewire our brains to foster a healthier self-image. Phrases like, "I am capable and worthy," can counter the negativity we often hear. Visualizing a supportive figure who encourages us can also be a powerful exercise in nurturing a kinder inner dialogue. Taking action. Despite the critic, even when faced with a relentless inner critic, it's vital to take action and strive toward our goals. Setting achievable objectives and celebrating small victories can build our confidence and resilience. Remember, progress isn't always linear, and setbacks are a natural element of the journey. Embrace self-forgiveness when things don't unfold as planned, and focus on learning from each experience. By consistently implementing these strategies, we can gradually quiet the inner critic and foster a more compassionate relationship with ourselves. It's important to remember that this process takes time and practice, but with dedication, we can cultivate a more positive and fulfilling inner world. Taming our inner critic is a journey rather than a destination, and it calls for patience, persistence, and self-compassion. By exploring the origins of our critic, recognizing its patterns, and nurturing a kinder inner voice, we can begin to transform our relationship with ourselves. It's essential to remember that we all deserve kindness and support, and we possess the power to create a more positive and fulfilling inner world. Let's start small, celebrate our progress, and feel empowered to seek additional support when needed. Our well-being is a valuable investment. By fostering self-compassion, we're not simply silencing the critic, we are empowering ourselves to lead a more authentic, confident, and joyful life. Together, we can navigate this path toward a healthier mindset and a brighter future.